To us, what Dostler was making was equipment. He was making shoes for the world's great athletes to perform in. Plus there's an old phrase called the equipment manager, which is what we ended up calling Adi, was the equipment manager of the world. That's the guy who you go to on your team to get your stuff to play in. So we came back to them and said, we have this idea, it's called equipment, it's the best of Adidas, we developed a new symbol for it, and we basically said, that's our idea, take it or leave it. And they took it. We called it equipment because the word equipment, at least in America, is sort of a no bullshit word. I mean, you don't have a piece of equipment to have fun with. You have a piece of equipment to do something with. The green, the black, and the white was to me that they were very strong, they were very athletic, and there was a certain newness about that I thought was interesting. It also made the statement that it's not about color, it's about performance. It's not about color, it's about function. It's not about color. Color was a decorative item. We wanted color to just be a signal. When something becomes a part of culture, it then becomes a part of fashion, and fashion has a play on it. It's not because fashion designers want to be athletes or athletes want to be fashion designers. It's because it's become a part of our culture, and when things become a part of the culture, everybody has a piece of it. The 90s are now nostalgia. Careful, it'll be 2000 next.
Don't get too sentimental about things. Thank you very much. Perfect.
Life initially started off as almost like a pinnacle or a point for the weirdos, the kids who actually cared about footwear. You know, strange, hard to find footwear. The difference between now and then is then there was a few weirdos, and now there's a world of weirdos, you know? All the way from when I was probably in first grade, you know, like you'd see old pictures and you'd see certain people wearing certain things, and you know, as you grow up and you realize like, oh man, I never got that, you know, like it becomes something that you can attain, and then it becomes something that you want. 2003 was the first time we decided to start doing projects with Adidas, and that would have been 10 years ago. We did the ZX in 2008 or 9. But even before all of that, when we initially opened the store, I mean, Adidas's presence was heavy in there. Any sneaker collector from the East Coast has an Adidas collection. Any sneaker collector from over here has Adidas. Adidas EQT line made noise everywhere. I mean, it changed your perception of Adidas at the time. You know, the EQT line literally breathed life back into Adidas. You know, Peter Moore, obviously, you know, you look at his breadth of work over his career. I mean, he's got an ability to turn things around. He's got an ability to make things iconic. He's got an ability to really like infuse, like, you know, fashion DNA into sport, and also infuse the sport into sport. In my opinion, my favorite was definitely the Support Runner. I mean, that's still a shoe that I wear to this day. You know, the ZX we did was really dope too. We were all really feeling red at the time. So outside of it just being, you know, just a great footwear, it was like a nice common place for dudes to just kind of get together and build. So outside of just the actual footwear, it was just a good time.
There's no one shoe I'd pick as my favorite. I like the idea of it. I like the idea of just even the wording of like Adidas equipment. And you can pick at bits and parts and say, it was meant to do this, then it did that, and then it came here, and then it came back. But that's kind of the beauty of the project, because it won't end, and I'm sure it'll go away and come back again in 10 or 20 years. But that's what good design's supposed to do. At that point, sneakers were still being built for a purpose, but popular culture was absorbing them differently. The sport and performance side of it then became style and fashion, and I mean, somewhat of a foundation of what became street culture. But I think it's kind of an honor to come back to do something that actually has always embraced culture. It's always pushed sport, it's always pushed performance, it's always pushed the ways things are made, it's always pushed just the ideology of the world. I mean, going back to amazing cultural moments in sports or popular culture, Three Stripes have been on a lot of it.
で、90年代ぐらいから今のスタイルになってます。各カテゴリーの最高峰のモデルがエキプメントっていうシリーズだったので、なんか当時は本当にアディダスの中でも一番最高峰っていうイメージと、やっぱりその当時出てたアディダスのエキプメントのモデルはすごい独創的なデザインもそうだし、もちろん人間工学に基づいた機能美っていうかそういうのもそうだし、なのでどこをとっても本当に他のブランドにはないアディダスっぽいアイデンティティの詰まったアイテム群が多くて、当時からそこに日本人はすごいファンが多かったですね。
So it was really the best. And to us, best didn't mean the most expensive or the most technical. It meant the best performance. It gave the athlete what the athlete needed to perform at their best.
I think good design is good design, and I think when you get a reissue that is reissued with the correct specifications, you don't necessarily have to rely on nostalgia to sell that product, because people will just see it for the beauty of its design.